Hey everyone, this is SpiderFan101, and as you can see, I'm here in podcast mode right now, and I'm finally doing the trailer analysis video for the Captain Marvel trailer and the Avengers Endgame trailer. Now, the reason why I held this back for so long was because of the fact that I was waiting for the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer to release before I did this. But seeing as though that trailer might not release at all because of Marvel's poor decision making, I'm just like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. So, I'm here today and we're going to get into this now. I'm watching this on the Disney website because I love Disney. And so, yeah, let's get into this. So nothing really interesting happens here except for, Captain Marvel versus the Skrull. Doing all these ninja kicks and flips.
And you're a Kree, a race of noble warriors?
Heroes. Noble warrior heroes.
Now, I think it's interesting that she thinks this, because obviously, the Kree as we know from Guardians of the Galaxy is nowhere good or noble. So, maybe this is a time where, the Kree actually were heroes. Or maybe they weren't heroes at all and they were just deceiving her to believe that. Or to have a certain ideal or a certain series of ideals. I can't really tell right now, but I think, they're making her believe that they're good, but they're really not. You see over there, that's Ronin. And I really like this design. One thing I must say about this movie is that the design and attention to detail looks fantastic. I like that.
Your life began the day it nearly ended.
Now, let me go back over.
Your life began the day it nearly...
What is this about? Now, I've seen a lot of speculation online as to why, she has like her blood is green. Now, could it be that she was like a Skrull from, not a Skrull, but could it be that she was a Kree the whole time, or maybe one of her parents was a Kree, kind of like a Peter Quill type situation, where the father was a god and the mother was a human. Maybe that's the same case here. But I'm not really sure what this is. It's because, I don't know. That's just strange.
Nearly ended.
See, this is why I think that she was a Kree from the beginning.
Ended.
Or not if she was a Kree, but she had powers from the beginning. Because this scene, obviously this scene takes place after that scene where she's being like blasted back by the blue energy. So that's why it's like radiating out of her. But, maybe whatever that was that exploded, and which we'll see later in the trailer, gave her the powers. I'm assuming that this is Korath over here.
We found you. With no memory, we made you one of us. So you could live longer.
Yeah, this is the explosion. So maybe this explosion is what gave her her powers. Yes. And if that's the case, then that would be pretty interesting.
Stronger. Superior.
Also, I was hoping before this movie came out, that they would do this face mask. And not only did they do it, but it translates so well. I'm telling you right now.
You were reborn.
Now, what is this? Because it looks like I speculated when the first trailer came out in my trailer reaction that maybe this was the part where they're like wiping her memories. I still think that that's what this is, but I'm not 100% sure because, you know, it looks like from the look of it, as you can see here, she's quite clearly in pain. And it does look like electricity. So, you know, I don't know if this is like a... No, my speculation is that it is just, you know, a memory wiping device.
I keep having these.
And this scene alludes to my
memories.
connections
Something
as well.
in my past.
Now, I don't know who this is because I haven't read a lot of Captain Marvel comics, but I heard that, you know, this person is very close to her, so, you know, it'll be very interesting to see what she offers to the table.
Is the key to all of this.
You know how to fly this thing?
We'll see.
That's a yes or no question.
Yes.
Really cool Quinjet. I wonder if this is like one of the hideouts that is on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I know I shouldn't be trying to connect those anymore because I gave up doing that a long time ago, but, you know, I'm just wondering. And also, if you didn't know, the reason why she could fly it so easily is because she's a pilot. Yeah, don't underestimate Carol Danvers.
Would you like to know what you really are?
You see all this, yeah, the scrolls here, yeah, the scroll here is like really nice looking, straight from the comics. As a matter of fact, there's another shot of a scroll, I guess it's the main scroll, that we're going to see later on, and I really like that design as well. But one thing I wanted to go back to here is, well, obviously this is the shot of the scroll, but, you know, as you can see in this shot, there's like more of that green blood on her hand, so maybe, you know, she's like bleeding in other areas. Like, I don't know how this plane crash happened, like, it's not really known how this plane crash happened, but I'm assuming she had like an altercation with like a Skrull or someone from the Kree, anyone of that nature, because there's no way that she's going to encounter something that'll explode in her face, give her powers, and then a Skrull comes out. Yeah, I'm assuming that, you know, she gets attacked by a Skrull, because if this is, you know, what's going to lead into the Skrull invasion, then, you know, maybe this is how it starts. Maybe they start like invading Earth in like, you know, little secret areas so that people don't expect it. Because we know that in present day in the MCU, we know that, you know, there are in fact Skrulls out there. So, yeah.
What you really are.
I think I had a life here. What aren't you telling me?
Now, this guy is really suspicious to me. I know he's Captain Marvel, played by Jude Law, young Dumbledore himself. But, yeah, he's really suspicious to me. I think he'll end up being the main villain. I really do. Although he wasn't, to my knowledge, he wasn't the main villain in the comics, but I really know, Captain Marvel Carol Danvers, like, because of, now, I was first introduced to her because of, Superhero Squad. Anyone remember that show? Superhero Squad. I'll stop now.
You've come a long way, but you're not as strong as you think.
I like that they do that. Because it's so cool. Because we get like the, you know, oh, speaking of this, where's she falling from? It looks like this is like after another shot in the trailer that when I first saw it almost gave me a heart attack, but we'll get to that in a minute. But it looks like it's after that shot, but like why is she falling like at such a fast rate. Like, did she get like shot down or something? That's weird. But it's like everything begins, and it says with her, but then it turns into a hero. That's so cool. Although technically, this would take place after Captain America: The First Avenger in terms of storyline, because that one takes place back in like World War II. So yeah, technically it doesn't start here, but it does start here like after Captain America. So yeah.
This war is just the beginning.
That was so. Wait, hold on.
This war.
What she does here is absolutely amazing, and I just have to say once again, this suit is spectacular. Like, it really is. Like, this whole sonic boom thing that happened, like that is amazing. I love that.
It's just the beginning.
Now this scroll looks absolutely fantastic. It looks like something straight out of Fantastic Four. Like, and that's where these characters are from, Fantastic Four. So, like, I know them most, like, in terms of my childhood. That I remember seeing, like, that Skrull episode in Fantastic Four: World's Greatest Heroes. Yeah. Sweet memories. But, these Skrulls look really good here. I'm hoping that when we get the Fantastic Four movie, and we will, that, we get the Skrulls again. Ronan watching a shot that I will get to that almost gave me a heart attack. But what's interesting is that his suit is green here. It's in the Guardians of the Galaxy, it's all black, but here it's green. Maybe because, that's the Kree color, green. But, I'm guessing we're gonna see in this movie how, Ronan turns, like, to the crazy murdering psychopath that he is in Guardians of the Galaxy. So, I'm interested to see what happens to, get him to go that crazy.
I'm not gonna fight your war.
Yes.
I'm gonna end it.
This shot right here, the shot after this, when I first saw it, almost gave me a heart attack. I'm not gonna lie. Just watch it, you're gonna see why. Oh my god. That is pure comic book accuracy. She was just like, you know what? Forget all of you. I'm destroying every single ship by myself. She doesn't need a ship. She doesn't need any backup. She's just like, forget this. I'm destroying all of you myself. That is awesome. Amazing, spectacular, sensational. I don't know why I'm naming off a bunch of Spider-Man titles, but that's what they are. Yeah, whew. All I'm saying is Thanos will not be a problem. Thanos will not be a problem.
Aren't you the cutest little thing? Aren't you cute? And what's your name, huh?
Fury.
What's you? I'll be back.
But yeah, that trailer was amazing. That trailer was absolutely amazing. Now going on to Avengers Endgame. I was about to call it Avengers 4. It's Avengers Endgame. So yeah, let's get into this now. This obviously has a more darker tone.
Stay on.
Now, I find it interesting that Tony is still in space. Like, obviously, they're in the Milano, like, because we see, I forget whose seat. No, this was Gamora's seat, and then this was Drax's seat, and then up there is Peter's seat, and then Rocket's seat is up there. So, this is obviously the Milano, but find it interesting that, it's not going anywhere because it looks like it's ran out of energy or it's ran out of power, so it's just floating around now. And, Tony obviously reassembled his helmet and everything. And that's cool and all. But, obviously this trailer has a more darker tone, and that's justified because, this movie, from how Infinity War ended, like, if this movie didn't have a darker tone, then it would be a fail. And, Marvel doesn't fail. So, yeah.
Hey, Miss Potts. If you find this recording, don't feel better about this.
Now, once that dum dum came up, I immediately felt the impact. I was like, ooh, that hit me. Especially when you're wearing headphones when you're listening to that. Like, one thing about the music in this trailer is that it is very, very somber. Like, I'm getting like Mockingjay Part 2 type vibes here. Because Mockingjay Part 2 was just a grim movie. And I'm like getting some Mockingjay Part 2 vibes right now. So in one way that's really good, but in another way I'm like nervous because Mockingjay Part 2 has like some crazy stuff happen in that movie. So yeah. But yeah, I immediately felt the impact once that doom doom came up. I was like, ah. Especially seeing the Milano just floating around in the middle of space, some random galaxy. Yeah.
Part of the journey is the end. Just for the record, being adrift in space with zero promise of rescue is more fun than it sounds.
And this is obviously Tony's like final message to Pepper. Quote unquote final, because we know he's gonna be in the entire movie. Well, possibly. But either two things are gonna happen here. I think that this is like Tony Stark's like real death scene. I mean, like, he's not gonna like die in this exact scene, but I think that this scene will lead to his death. Because, either two things will happen. One, this, like, he's just gonna die floating in space, or Captain Marvel's gonna come in and, save him. But at the same time, I'm like, it would be like pretty crazy if it would be like pretty like it would be pretty brave of Disney to like kill off Tony Stark while he's like floating around in space. But at the same time, I know this is kind of crazy, but hear me out here. I think that Tony Stark will, survive in some way, shape, or form. Because in Wreck-It Ralph 2, I know. Hear me out though. In Wreck-It Ralph 2, in the Disney realm, there were multiple Marvel characters that survived. Since Groot is dead, right? Since he disintegrated, how was he in Wreck-It Ralph 2? Huh? Answer me that. Yeah. Along with Big Hero 6 and all of them. Yeah. Although Big Hero 6 didn't really get dusted. As a matter of fact, they're in a completely different universe. And they're in a completely different Earth in the Marvel multiverse. So, yeah, I can understand that. But, answer me that though.
Food and water ran out 4 days ago. Oxygen will run out tomorrow morning.
See, that's why this has me thinking like, this is Tony Stark's real death scene. Because, he says oxygen will run out tomorrow morning. So that's why I am sold on the fact that this scene will lead to Tony Stark's death. That's why I'm certain of it.
That'll be it. When I drift off, I will dream about you. It's always you.
And before this scene goes on, like, I've seen people go like, Tony Stark is gonna die, Tony Stark's gonna die, Captain America's gonna die, he's gonna... Like, I've seen, like, a reaction, like, someone getting hyped up because hyped up at the same time. They're like, oh my god, Captain America's gonna die! But for the Infinity War trailer, the second one, I'm like, do you know long we spent with these characters? Do you know how, like, emotionally invested we are in these characters? So imagine how it'll be if they die. Especially Tony Stark. Like, Tony Stark started everything. Like, without him, there would be no MCU. So, you know, we cannot, like, underestimate the emotional impact of what's gonna happen in this movie. Especially characters like Tony Stark, Captain America, those type of characters, like the ones who've been there since the beginning. Especially if they're gonna die in this film, like everyone else is saying they will. So, yeah, I wouldn't get hyped up about that. I'm loving the dark tone. I really am. Of course you had to do that, Marvel. Of course you had to. You couldn't resist. But, yeah, this is like obviously an homage to the ending of the Infinity Gauntlet comic, you know, when Thanos is, like, put to rest, and he, like, hangs up his armor as a scarecrow at the end of the comic. When he's, like, farming Thanos and everything. And, you know, essentially, like, especially in the next shot, you know, he's obviously Farmer Thanos here. But what's interesting is he still has the gauntlet on. So it's like the gauntlet, like, stuck to his arm. Because we know that, you know, the gauntlet got destroyed as soon as he did the snap. So I'm assuming that, you know, the gauntlet, like, he can't take it off. I don't understand why he'd want to. But, you know, since his job is done and everything. And by the way he's moving
Thanos did exactly what he
it
said he was
doesn't
gonna
look
do.
like it doesn't look like he can move his hand at all. So maybe his hand is, like, really stuck in there. But yeah, this scene especially hit me because
He wiped out.
Captain America's crying. But honestly, like, I'm not gonna judge him at all. I don't think any of us would, because if you've been through as much as Captain America's been through, in terms of, you know, waking up in basically the future, having been lied to multiple times by SHIELD, by your own team, by going against your team and going against your best friend, and then going rogue, and then because of you going rogue, you know, half of the universe got wiped out. You know, I can understand that, because technically, if if Civil War had never happened, it would have probably been easier to take down Thanos, because, you know, they wouldn't have been separated and everything. But, you know, since Civil War happened, that was obviously, you know, a setback, and I think that's why, you know, Thanos won so easily, because, you know, they were all split up. So yeah.
50% of all living creatures.
Now, one thing I'm not okay with, Marvel, and I cannot believe you did this, is what Mr. Lang. You know, obviously Mr. Lang is not dead, but you killed Shuri. Not only did you kill my boy Spidey, although he's coming back, you had the gall to kill Shuri! How dare you, Marvel? How dare you? I'm not going to forget. You better bring her back to life, or else I will not forgive you. And then after that, like, Shuri's my boy. Forget I said that. Shuri's my girl. My boy Spidey's my boy, obviously. So, can't believe this, man. And before he's like, hey, I thought your girl was Macy. And I'm like, yes, my girl is Macy. But my girl in terms of Marvel is, you know, would also be Go-Go. But Shuri mainly in terms of Marvel. So, yeah. But then not only did you show Shuri in these pictures, but you also showed my boy Spidey right here.
We lost.
Now, am I the only one that blames Thor for why this happened? Because Thor was like, ha ha ha! Like Thor, like threw his axe into Thanos. He could have very well went for his head. He could have cut his head clean off. But he was like, ha ha! I did it! I killed you! I told you I was gonna kill you for killing my brother! Ha ha! And then he was like, alright, you got me. But you should have gone for the head. Snap! Like, he could have easily gone for the head. But no, he wanted to gloat. So, like, I don't think I'm crazy for blaming Thor for this happening.
Lost. All of us.
It's Nebula here. And what's interesting is, like, people were saying that this was Gamora's hand, but I don't really think that this is Gamora's hand. I mean, it very well could be Gamora's hand. I mean, it certainly has that type of look, but honestly, in terms of who this really is, I don't know who this is. I don't know whose hand this belongs to. But I do know that this person here sitting in the seat like has like the padded stuff that looks like Captain America's suit. So if this is Captain America here, then this could be you know, Natasha. But, you know, this doesn't really look like Natasha's hand. Like, I don't know who this is. This could be a completely new character. This could be Natasha, or this very well could be Gamora. Who knows? But, you know, there are certain things about, you know, Gamora's hand that, you know, are not present here. Like, you know, the fingernails are black, which, you know, do resemble Gamora. But, you know, Gamora wears like a ring, right? And Gamora wears like, you know, like rings on her hand, on her fingers. Now, I don't see any rings here. Yeah, I know that's a very minute detail, but, you know, I pay attention to every detail when it comes to these movies. So, you know, this very well could be Gamora, but in this case, I'm not really sure right now, as of now.
Friends. We lost family.
Now, this scene right here.
We lost a part of ourselves.
Now, obviously, you know, Hawkeye becomes Ronin. And, you know, this is obviously because, you know, the snap took away his wife and children. So, obviously, that would cause him to go crazy. That would cause him to go all Frank Castle on, you know, these criminals. Obviously, because, you know, he's going all Frank Castle on these Yakuza members. As a matter of fact, it looks like he just got finished killing a guy in this shot. So, yeah. But I find it pretty interesting. Actually, it looks like he got done, like, taking out a couple of guys here. Here, like, with these two on the street, and then this one here. So, yeah.
This is the fight of our lives.
Now, there's that whole thing that this movie's going to be dealing with time travel and all that. Now, one theory that I heard, and if you don't want to hear this, then you can, like, you know, skip ahead. But I heard that there's a scenario where Captain America is going to be like, you know what? Forget this. I'm staying in the past. I'm going to live a life with, you know, the love of my life. And, of course, the love of his life is Peggy. And so, I think that if that is true, and if that does happen,
This is the fight of
this would be like the scene before that.
our lives.
For that, because, you know, either, you know, this is like his like last stand, not a reference to that X-Men movie. But if this was like his last stand, and he's like looking at Peggy, it's like, I'ma see you in the heavens, Peggy. Or this is like him going like I could finally live a future with Peggy the right way. You know, because if that happens, then, you know, that would change everything. Like the Agent Carter TV series would be different, because, you know, it's maybe instead of her like hanging out with Jarvis, she would be hanging out with Cap. And that would be crazy. That would be pretty crazy. So, yeah. Either way, this movie is gonna, change a lot of things. So, hopefully those changes are justified and also make sense. But they will.
This is gonna work, Steve.
I know it is. Because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't.
And I love how the Avengers logo just forms from all the dust and the rubble. By the way, that's a great title. That's a great title. I could not have chosen a better one. That's a great title for this movie.
Hi, is anyone home? This is Scott.
Now, I have a lot of theories for how, Mr. Lang got out of the quantum realm. And of course, I call him Mr. Lang out of respect because, nobody disrespects Mr. Lang. But, yeah, I have a couple theories. Now, before Mr. Lang even went in the quantum realm, Janet was talking about how, don't go into a time vortex, we won't be able to save you. So maybe like the way he got out of there, maybe he pressed the button on his finger to grow like he did in the first Ant-Man, or he goes through a time vortex, or he finds like an alternate dimension or reality that he goes through. Because I've heard that Mr. Lang is the key to stopping Thanos and saving everyone that got dusted. So, either way, it's good to me. But, that's my theory in terms of how he got out. My ultimate theory is, he got sucked. He went into a time vortex.
Wait, we met a few years ago at the airport in Germany. Got done.
And I love how they're just like, oh my god, is this real? Is he really out there right now? Like, even Steve himself said, is this an old message? Like, they can't believe it because, obviously Mr. Lang was one of the people that they said was missing. So, it's very it's very good to me. Like, this moment is the only moment of like joy and optimism in this trailer. So, yeah. I've heard all the crazy theories about Mr. Lang being a Skrull, and in which case that wouldn't make any sense. Like, first of all, how would a Skrull even like know of his existence to like want to copy him or turn into him since he's in the quantum realm? So that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I'm not factoring it out, although it is stupid. But we don't know what's gonna happen in this movie, so yeah.
Not really big.
Is this an old message?
Ant-Man, I know you know that.
It's the front door.
That's me. Can you buzz me in?
And you released it in my birthday month again. Thank you, Marvel. But yeah, this movie, actually both of these movies, Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame, are going to be revolutionary. Now, obviously this movie in particular, Avengers Endgame, is going to be revolutionary. But Captain Marvel, as you can see, was not in this trailer because, this movie is under a lot of secrecy. And for good reason, too, because there's a lot of, like, multiverse defining stuff in this movie. So, I don't blame Disney for, like, keeping all these secrets. But at the same time, the only reason why I don't agree with their decision making in terms of, these trailers is because of the fact that, since they didn't release this trailer earlier, now I have to wait to get that Spider-Man trailer that I want. So, yeah. Hey, we're gonna get the Spider-Man trailer eventually, and I will do a trailer reaction to it and a trailer analysis video for that, because I'm starting to bring these videos back. I haven't done one of these in a while. This is like the first time I've done it since 2016. So, yeah. I will do it for that though, but, you know, I don't blame Disney for keeping all these secrets, but at the same time, I, you know, they shouldn't like make this decision making again in terms of these trailers. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah. Overall, both these trailers were amazing, and I can't wait to see both of these films and eventually add them both to my MCU collection. And Marvel, release that Spider-Man trailer. No. I am Spidey Fan 101 saying peace.